I'm king, and they know it. When I snap my fingers, everybody says short. I'm hot, and you're not. But if you want to hang with me, I'll give it one shot. Top that.
Oh my God.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome back to Colin and Greg Live right here on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. We hope you can hear us.
Do you hear us?
Do you hear us?
Everything was torn asunder. We went to GDC, Colin. We do the live stream all 3 days of GDC. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, nobody gives a shit about. Yeah. All the stuff comes home, gets dropped in here. We go to PAX. We come back from PAX. I come in, and it's just like, oh, motherfucker. Oh, motherfucker. No cables are missing. You got hit in the head with the light. It took out the monitor. Oh, disastrous.
Yeah, I'm so tired. I just kind of want to, get through this show and then maybe go back to bed.
I'm going to watch House of Cards.
Oh, good.
That's how I'll reward myself. People do hear us loud and clear. Thank you so much. It's this new thing with the computer where this is something that was a developing thing at GDC. Kevin had to work through it the whole time. God bless Kevin. That the audio would no longer come out through the PC. And it's on us. There's just a million different audio cards and shit in there to figure out. We're getting a whole bunch of resubs. A whole bunch of people are back. Thank you so much. Thanks for putting up with us. Plenty to talk about. Both of our PAX experiences, Collins. And then, just in general, life and what's happened to us in the news of the day. Explain what Colin and Greg is.
Colin and Greg Live is our talk show every weekday here at twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Talk about games, talk about movies, TV shows, comic books, whatever nerd culture stuff, usually games. It's a very game-centric show. We didn't do anything on Thursday or Friday, but we did have someone sub in for us.
Ashlyn did. Hello, gamer girl. Thank you so much. Everybody said she did a great job. She did call-in. She was great.
So we appreciate that. We hope you, from everything I heard, it was very successful.
Yeah. Well, I mean, something we got to experiment with. Well, hopefully, for the future, it should be not rare, I'd say, but we want to have either be streaming on site from places or we don't go to the same thing necessarily. PAX and community shows, obviously, we go to. Maybe we can do, Colin and Greg Live right from a panel. You know what I mean? That'd be the easier way to do it.
Can you...
I already did. Middle update when it updates. I did it from the dashboard page.
Yeah, but...
The title.
Okay.
We'll have to fix it in post. It's not GDC anymore, guys.
Yeah, don't fear, guys. We're not back at GDC because I really don't want to be back there right now.
Did you have fun though?
Yeah, I did. I did have fun. It was a really great show. I think it was a very successful show for us, and I think a lot of people enjoyed what we did. So we do appreciate you guys, supporting us through that, because I think that we had almost 1 million views, or about 1 million views during those 3 days on Twitch, which was pretty extraordinary. So yeah, we're tired. Our voices are kind of shot. I have a lot to do today, just errand-wise, because Ramon is coming tonight, and we'll have Ramon on Game Over Greggy's show and doing some different stuff with us. We're going to do some Let's Plays with them and stuff like that, so that'll be a lot of fun.
MBats96 tips us $5 and says, congrats on your GDC coverage last night. You guys did a kick-ass job. Can't wait to hear what you have to say about PAX. Long live the commish.
Yeah, and what's funny to me is that Greg wanted us to actually do a bunch of work today.
Yeah.
But I said no.
And so you took the tech people that could have made this not crap. It almost killed you. I'm worried about.
Actually, you almost killed
your hair would be burned off. No, that did, not me.
You hit it and it fell.
No, I.
So why don't you take a little responsibility?
Because this is the same thing.
The light, gravity doesn't just shift a thing that's standing there.
The base was super bad on the tripod because I've never set up a light tripod before. It could still come down at any time. We don't know what we're doing.
So yes, Greg almost killed me with the light, but I'm good. Sure. I'm good, and I'm feeling fit.
Fit as a fiddle.
I'm actually not feeling fit at all.
No, you feel bad.
Very tired, very, very, very fatigued. But this show, nothing stops this train, Greg.
Nope.
And
this rolling garbage truck on fire.
And while we are not going to, do much else today, Colin and Greg Live must go on.
It has
for the people out there.
Someone has to watch it. Someone has to know our story.
Someone made a really good point that daylight savings time has screwed up the timing of this in Europe.
Oh, really?
Europe. So our European friends, we're sorry about that. We have to go by American time.
So are we we're an hour ahead? We're an hour. Yeah, we sprung ahead.
Yeah, we're an hour.
So really, this would be their normal 10 o'clock. I see what's happening. Sorry, European folks.
So, what are you doing?
I brought things to talk about from GDC, so I want to make sure I had games. If we're going to talk about games at some point from GDC, I had the cream of the crop. They rose to the top.
We're going to talk about GDC
They never ate a
today.
pig because a pig is a cop. PAX, whatever.
Okay.
I'm running we're both running on like 5 hours of sleep after 2 days of two conventions back to back.
I'm exhausted, dude. All right, Greg. The biggest news that has come out this weekend actually just came out a few days ago, and it's from well, everyone's talking about it, but Dual Shockers had written about it.
Dual Shockers.
It says this story is by Chris Harding. It says Xbox One exclusive Quantum Break may be delayed until 2016. And the story reads, bad news for those looking to add Quantum Break to their... I lost myself. Bad news looking for Quantum Break to add... Yeah, Xbox One collection this year. It looks like it's delayed until 2016. This isn't official, not yet at least, but Day Jim, Dutch community and social media coordinator at Microsoft, posted a rather telling tweet along with a blog post. Got some bad news, Xbox gamers, the tweet reads. Quantum Break is likely delayed, coming early 2016. Of course, this isn't official, but being that the chap works within Microsoft, he does have a bit of more knowledge about the ins and outs than us regular folk. Still, this one is staying on the rumor pile until there's something a little more concrete from Microsoft. And then Jim apparently tweeted saying, posting further clarification, explaining that he's not yet sure and consider it a rumor until official PR comes out. I'm sure it is probably true, but I guess we're waiting for word. And it wouldn't be a huge surprise.
Oh man, his job! Wow. I didn't realize he works at Microsoft. Yeah. He just fucked this up. Oh man. Hashtag deal with it. That never ends well.
I don't understand how the communication can be so bad that you don't let your PR people go first. But
yeah.
Nonetheless, this isn't a huge surprise. People were making good points that Microsoft doesn't necessarily need a big exclusive like Quantum Break this fall anyway, with Halo coming out. So
sure.
I think it's probably very wise of them. I think McCaffrey posted too that he would expect Quantum Break around February, and I think that probably makes a lot of sense considering the release schedule, which will bring Halo and I also think a new Forza out to the console. So there's not exactly a dearth of exclusives coming to Xbox One, so you can give them a little more.
Ori and the Blind Forest.
That comes out now though. I'm talking about in the fall. So we'll see what Remedy's doing over there, and if we get official word on that soon. But I wanted to open with that little nugget of information, Gregory.
Yes.
Let's see. Where do I want to go next? Actually, I want to talk about this. Even though the news is a little bit old, it's from Friday, and this was kind of starting to leak even around Thursday night, I think. It seems like PS4 is getting its next meaty firmware update, and I think that we should take a lot of heart in this firmware update, Greg.
Yeah.
Because we're finally starting to get really important stuff that we've been asking for a long time.
The stuff they promised forever ago.
And I think that this stuff, some stuff they promised, but also things that that nerdy PlayStation gamers specifically want, and they're listening.
Okay.
So Chris Pereira over at GameSpot writes, PS4 suspend feature reportedly included in new firmware update beta, and this is for PlayStation 4 update 2.5. So basically, the story is this. The long-awaited PlayStation 4 suspend resume feature is currently being beta tested by PlayStation fans, according to images that have been published online. If you just scroll down, basically you see an image that was released, I think, to PlayStation MVPs or some sort of group of trusted PlayStation gamers that are getting early beta access to a meaty and significant firmware update. And amongst other things, it will basically allow the suspend resume kind of feature, as well as what I think is something that's really interesting in the sense that trophy hunters have been asking for a long time to be able to delete their 0% trophies from the PSN, which you are now going to be able to do.
Nice.
According to this. And there's some other things as well. So this is kind of in the works, and I like that Sony is actually beta testing this, which indicates to me that it is a significant update. And with some of the checkboxes that they've been checking on this particular firmware update, I was talking to some people at PAX East, I wouldn't be surprised if they are going to let us change our PSN name soon.
Soon?
Yeah, because the trophy thing is definitely a deep dive into the network. It wasn't an easy thing for them to find a solution. I think that they're starting to get deeper and deeper into the network code and trying
massage it to be what people want it to be.
So I think this is pretty significant. Even though it's old news, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I thought that was significant for a lot of our audience.
While you're doing that, we got a tip from Pargnu. Maybe how you want to say that?
Pargnui.
You guys are amazing. You make this Englishman's day much, much better. Keep up the epic work. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Thank you. Greg, over at Kotaku, speaking of PlayStation 4, they had an interesting... Kirk Hamilton wrote a story about Helldivers.
Oh, hell fucking divers.
Interesting story. Helldivers bug erases progress if your PS4 controller dies.
That's why I play on Vita.
It says, here's a shitty bug for you, Kirk writes. A fair number of players are reporting that they've lost all their progress in the new PlayStation game Helldivers after their controller died when they were playing. Apparently, if you're playing the game and your controller runs out of juice, the game spawns in a level 1 character when you plug back in, saving over your character progress if you let it go to a save point without restarting. That's an interesting bug.
That's a horrible one.
something I'm sure they didn't test for. This is what's so fascinating about getting a peek behind like certain QA about like why would they think to even test that?
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
actually fundamentally broken. He writes, I first heard about a bug when a reader who lost a level 15 character wrote in over the weekend. The game's developer Arrowhead acknowledged the problem among a handful of other bugs a couple of days ago on the Helldivers subreddit. They say they've been working on a fix in the coming but not yet released 1.03 update. Meanwhile, over at the PlayStation forums, players are reporting lost progress for a variety of reasons, not all due to the controller bug. Here's Arrowhead on how to deal with the controller bug and if it happens. Wiped progression, don't turn off your controller. So even turning off your controller, it seems like if you were to hold down the PlayStation button.
That's not good at all.
So just kind of interesting little things here.
I had a weird one, and I can't explain, Colin, where I've been playing, I played Helldivers the whole flight when I went to LA last weekend, and then GDC this past weekend, or PAX this weekend. And at some point, it does a weird thing where it is cross-save. And it'll send your saves back and forth. But what's weird about it is I thought, okay, I've been playing on Vita, I want to play on PS4. I jumped out to the main menu, I jump back in, it says logging in, it's syncing your save. It says syncing save data. I'm like, oh, great. I turned it off, I went on PS4, it didn't sync. So what I had to do on the Vita was beat a low-level mission to send it while I was connected to the PSN. Once that was connected, it beamed it back to the PS4. I jumped on. It was like, oh, great, blah, blah. It beamed it back, went back to Vita. When I did that, I lost the progression of... I was leveling up the little robot that flies around and on level 3 can eventually see like all the, what do you call them? Samples you need to go get. That was gone. All that was wiped, which sucked because then I lost those ability points that I'd earned. And then, obviously with like the chart of leveling up, it gets harder and harder to earn those ability points to go ahead and do that. But it was weird. I don't think I did anything wrong. It was just kicking the save back around.
That's why I don't like the auto cloud save shit.
Yeah.
Like I think Sound Shapes did it where you have to go into a menu and send the save. So shit's not caught in the ether.
Yeah.
The thing I was thinking about more because I've only played for a couple of hours. Because I just haven't had time, and I actually was playing Desert Ashes on Vita, which is like a free-to-play
Is it good?
strategy game.
You like it?
And you buy like new episodes. It's good. It's really fucking hard.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. Very low budget, like spelling mistakes in the fucking text and shit like that.
That's charming.
But it's
Reminds you like all that SNES
yeah,
stuff.
it's just interesting. Like someone wrote ridiculous with an RED. I was like, oh, that looks so wrong. How do you know that? How do you not know that?
It's probably like a one-man indie team, right? You have no time to spell check.
But the thing about Helldivers to me that's really interesting is that the game went dark for so long. And I was discussing this with some people. I think even I brought it up to you. And the game is really good and really deep.
Yeah, we love Helldivers.
And I'm surprised that Sony didn't recognize that they really should have talked about this game a lot more than they did. Like really given it some stage time and really given it some visibility in the spotlight. Because this game came out and we knew that the game was fun to play. I'd written about it many times. I'd played the game 3 years ago for the first time. But they never talked about how deep it is. And I think that would have been like a really good thing. I was talking to a friend of mine in the industry who text messaged me, and he was like, I had no idea that the game had like a level system and a progression system and an equipment system and a stratagem system and all these things. There's a shit ton of upgrading and customization in the game. I'm really surprised that Sony did not recognize that. And I give a lot of credit to Arrowhead for really creating a really deep and great game with some fundamental bugs apparently, but...
yeah, but that's how it is anytime nowadays, right? There's bugs in everything, even in this game as we fight bugs in our Let's Play here. But that was the thing that I found interesting. When you were the first one to go play it, one of the couple of the life partners we are. You went and played it, came back and told me it was great. And you, no offense to you, you were talking about what you love about the game that is so hard, which was a turnoff to me. That didn't sound like fun. You're like, oh, you can shoot your own guys. I'm like, well, that sounds like, why would I ever want to do that? You know what I mean? And then even I went and watched your Let's Plays, and that's like, or not your IGN, demo Let's Plays with the devs, and that's how it was being pitched to. I was like, whatever. And then when I got it, and I was like, whoa, wait, it's third-person Destiny. You know what I mean? It's all the shit I love about Destiny on the road in like third person, which is more of what I want. Being able to see those little upgrades, not having to worry about any fucking stupid story, run around and do it. You know what I mean? Like, that's what's hooked me into it. And granted, now I have that whole thing of like, do I really want to go play with other people? Like, I'm going to have to eventually, like, Freedom Wars, because, like, I don't know how far, if you've seen it, but, like, the harder missions you get, the more XP you get, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, when I jumped online for the first time, and it was, like, day two or three of us having review code, and people were already, like, level 12. I was like, what the fuck's happening? And then I went into a mission with them, did a tough thing, got a boatload of XP. I was like, fuck. Like, I can sit here and grind it out in medium missions, for 5 hours, but I can make that progress probably like two and a half.
Someone was saying to Scott Rhodey over at Sony, I was just because Scott Rhodey tweeted really interesting stats. First of all, the stats for Helldivers are ridiculous, and the game's like really catching on.
Yeah.
The game's big. It's a big game.
Yeah.
And
For
I think
Sony.
a huge successful game for a really successful game for Sony right now.
Yeah.
Sony owns the IP and publishes it. It will be a PlayStation exclusive, so don't count on it coming anywhere else. But he was one kid was saying that like he is a ridiculously high level and has never played with anyone. And even Scott Rhodey was like really impressed because people were saying that like by the time you reach like level or like I don't know the exact terminology, but he was like 5 or 6 levels or.
They call them levels.
Yeah, like difficulty levels ahead of like where people thought you should be.
Gotcha.
Like playing by yourself. The guy's like totally doing it by himself. The game's it's really good.
As somebody who plays single player and has played single player for like 9 hours now, when you're alone, it's strategic, right? Like you have to be thinking, all right, I'm going to go over there. You avoid patrols. Vince was tweeting about this too from IGN. That you avoid patrols. You have to think through your routes. You have to do what you're going to do, and then get in there and use your stratagems at the right time. Use them in the right combination to take out things, and then retreat, come back, do all these different things. It's fascinating. It's fun. I love this game.
You Beat a Man says don't disrespect Helldivers by comparing it to Destiny.
Some people I want to turn it off. I mean, you're fucking crazy. Like Destiny has tons of problems. Let's not sit here and be like. Obviously, the gameplay is fun. It's got all these people hooked to go back and do this shit over and over again.
Yeah, this game definitely has the hook. Obviously, Destiny didn't get me, but Everyday Creature says Colin described it as hilariously hard. I find myself using that every time I describe it. Yeah, I mean that's the way I describe it too. Is it is comically difficult. The game is comically difficult. Like in the sense that like it does everything it can to like not to annoy you, but to make you think about it. If like you're in a if you're circled around an enemy, you can shoot your own players and kill them. It's really cool, and you can't turn this shit off. If you put a turret down, you better hit the deck.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna kill your whole party.
Yeah.
And along with everyone around you.
Yeah, but that's one of the cool things about it. Like even playing single player is dropping the turret behind you, and you like not saying it because you're a human being not talking to a robot, but you're gonna cover one side. So even if the turret starts to turn, you're already eliminating those targets, and nobody else can come that way.
It's a clever game. So good for Arrowhead and Sony. I think that I gotta say, Greg, I'm just gonna say it. This is a Colin was right game.
Did people doubt you?
Yeah, well, people doubt me a lot when I saw Resogun and Helldivers I think the first time together. And I came back really ecstatic about Resogun. I was like, keep an eye on this Helldivers game. I assumed Helldivers was gonna be out way earlier than it was. Yeah, I think I was really the first one tooting the horn about this one. Toot toot.
Toot toot. The SS Moriarty tugboat rolling down the river.
Let's keep on keeping on, Greg.
That sounds good to me.
There was some interesting news about Arkham Knight. Last week we talked about how Arkham Knight got an M rating, which is very unusual for a Batman game, or anything Batman related, really, in the sense that Batman doesn't kill people.
Yeah. He just breaks their bones, basically drops them off things, paralyzes them, leaves them for dead.
A lot of people saying Colin was right in the comments. We do appreciate that. Well, I do anyway.
I'm happy when you're right.
But first of all, I just want to, as an aside, talk about The Dark Knight Rises, which was on TNT yesterday on endless loop while we were flying from Boston to San Francisco, and I was able to jump back in and watch it and just remembered how great it was. So I just wanted to throw that out there. But as far as Batman is concerned, let me see if I can find this news here. Over at IGN, Luke Carmali wrote a story. This is why Batman Arkham Knight has an M for a mature rating. And basically the scenes have been released by ESRB, or at least a selection of scenes.
Like where they tell you what's wrong with it?
And so this could be spoilers. I don't really think this is spoilers, but if you really want to know literally nothing about the game,
we'll do the patented, tried and true thing. We're going into Batman possible spoilers off of the ESRB rating.
So
when I tap my head again, you can undo
Luke writes, the ESRB's explanation centers on a scene in which someone is tortured on a bloody operating table. Mailman's here.
That's how tired Portillo is. Portillo is that tired from pet.
Wow, that's weird
that he can't even fart.
Because I was looking at him before and just shit talking him.
Yeah.
And he just kind of stared at me. Usually he comes and runs at me thinking I'm being nice to him, but I'm not. So anyway, the story at IGN about the Arkham M rating says, the ESRB's explanation centers on a scene in which someone is tortured on, quote, a bloody operating table, though also mentions moments where you can shoot unarmed characters and a hostage. This raises the question of whether you may play as another character at some stages. Batman is renowned for his refusal to kill. The full text is as follows. This is from the ESRB. It says, quote, this is an action-adventure game in which players primarily assume the role of Batman as he battles several villains, spreading chaos across Gotham City. Players traverse a variety of locations around Gotham while battling thugs, examining crime scenes, and occasionally rescuing hostages. Players engage in melee-style combat using punches, kicks, and gadgets, e.g. batarangs and explosives.
Ooh, them batarangs!
Enemies cut out in pain when struck, and some takedowns are highlighted by brief slow-motion effects and loud impact sounds. I love how deep these guys, do parents really read this shit and care?
No.
The impact sounds are too loud. Some sequences allow players to use tank-like vehicles with machine gun turrets and rockets to shoot enemies. A vehicle's wheels are also used to torture an enemy in one sequence. Cutscenes depict characters getting shot on and off camera while restrained or unarmed. Large bloodstains, pools of blood appear in crime scenes and in the aftermath of violent acts. One room depicts a person torturing a character on a bloody operating table. During the course of the game, players can shoot unarmed characters and a hostage. Neon signs in a red light district read, quote, live nude girls and, quote, XXX.
Yeah!
The words bitch, gob shit, and ass appear in the dialogue. Sounds bad, guys.
Gob.
Yeah, that's what it says. G-O-B shite. Like shite. I really draw the line at the live new girls signs.
That's where you're like, it's too much? The Batman's too much?
So you weren't here for this, Greg.
Sorry,
Greg,
yes,
but someone
thank you.
was saying... the big thing in here that could be spoilerish, I think,
Yeah.
is... the SRB's explanation raises a moment where you shoot unarmed characters and a hostage. And it says, this raises the question of whether you may play as another character at some stage.
Maybe you play as the Arkham Knight at some point. Interesting.
So that's that. I'm looking forward to Batman.
Yeah.
In
big
the AAA
time.
space. Not many AAA games I'm looking forward to, but that's definitely one of them. Definitely one of them. Excuse me.
It's okay.
Very thirsty. By the way, it was funny. In Boston on Saturday, I text messaged Greg because we have our meet and greet at Connor Larkin's, which is my favorite old bar at Northeastern.
Yeah.
And I text Greg and I'm like, where are you? And he's like, I'm in, or I call him and I'm like, oh, no, I text you first and I'm like, I'm in a cab. And I'm like, cool, do you want to meet downstairs when you get back so we can walk over to Northeastern?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I want to iron my shirt and I need to drink water.
Yeah, I was so thirsty.
I'm like,
We can't all be like you at PAX and stay holed up in your fucking hotel room.
Yeah,
Someone's
but
got to go out there, socialize, see you, thank you for being best friends, not be all talk like fucking fake president of Team Fed over here.
I'm not saying that you're right or wrong. What I'm saying is that
That was on the
you
to-do
told
list?
me that you have to drink. No one's ever in my life ever told me like, hey, I need a minute. I gotta drink some water. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm our friendship. I want you to know that means that's how true of a friend we are. That I will tell you the most mundane detail. And then when you called me back the second time, I wasn't sure if I had to poop, so I left that off the list. But it turned out I did.
Jesus Christ! It gave me a time to walk around Northeastern and be very nostalgic for a little while, which was nice. Went to some of my old dorms. Just looked.
You went into them?
No, just went outside. Because I lived in one dorm in particular, Willis Hall, when I was a sophomore. Ramona and I lived together.
Yeah.
And our friend Kevin, who will be on our Let's Plays too. And I couldn't believe that this building hadn't been knocked down. I thought for sure I was going to turn the corner because it's like really an old, decrepit, shitty building. Like you were at the bottom of the lottery, basically. You like were stuck in this building, and I'm so glad I was because it was a really fun place to live. Just stoners and just random. It was funny. And I turned the corner because there's a brand new building next to it. Like this beautiful building that was being built while we were still there. And I remember because our windows were right outside, they would just pile drive shit like all day. And it would like shake. I remember it shook during class. Like I went to class, my OG Xbox was on my shelf because I didn't have it plugged in at the time. Mm-hmm. And it fell onto my bed. And I was like, if I was in bed, I would have been dead.
You're dead.
But anyway, I turned the corner and this old building is still there. I'm like, Jesus Christ, just knock this thing down already. It's just surrounded by these beautiful buildings. And you walk in around them and there's just this old Willis Hall.
Oh, Willis Hall. Oh, Willie McGee Hall.
Greg, Square released on SurveyMonkey of all places
SurveyMonkey.
This is just a survey asking players what kind of helping them figure out, like I guess, getting some information about them, but also figuring out what they want next. And if you go forward, it starts asking some really interesting questions about what you prefer, the way you play your games. Number 15, for instance, is why do you play video games? Which I think is really interesting.
Yeah.
Entertainment and amusement to enjoy a good story, challenge and mental exercise, socialization, escape and freedom, competition and mastery. None of the above. If you don't play a game for any of these reasons, I don't know what the fuck you're playing a game for.
You like pretty colors.
And then, let me go to the next page. So basically people are reading into this because, and some people have been texting me or tweeting me about this because you can actually put in like what you're looking for. In future fields, because this is only the first 6% of the thing, I guess. We're not represented here.
What the fuck? No kind of funny.com Square? You sons of bitches.
I like how like Imager's on there.
Yeah, a lot of people use Imager through Reddit.
I know, but that's not a site you go to.
I know.
Doesn't make any sense. Anyway, so I encourage people to go find this on Square Enix's Twitter account.
Sure.
And fill it out and let them know what you're looking for. It's a good way to get Square feedback. I think they need it. We hope that this helps them bring, say, Final Fantasy Tactics 2 to Vita.
Vita.
That reminds me, I played Final Fantasy 15. I think we'll have more on that soon. I think Tim and I will do a video of that this week.
Okay.
Maybe some sort of reacts video. Early impressions, it's fine. I mean,
It's fine.
I'm not super enamored by it, but I like what they're doing. Someone from Square asked me what I thought about it after I played, and I'm like, this is a synthesis of Japanese role-playing games and Western role-playing games. It's very clear. Very clear.
Yeah.
You know, because it's not... It's very Western in its presentation, and it's very Japanese, I think, in its combat. But it's not a turn-based it's not a turn-based game at all. It's very active. You fight in arenas basically as you run into enemies that are on the world field, and the fighting is very complicated. Very, very complicated. It's similar to the way I felt about Final Fantasy 13 when I first played it, because Final Fantasy 13's combat is actually really good. I like that part of the game, but it's a lot to wrap your mind around. I think this is 20 times harder than that. Like, there's so much to think about, and so I was impressed with that, but my expectations for the game are still very low. I will say this, the dude that looks like Cloud, I don't know his name, I don't know any of the characters' names. Cloud 2. There's a guy that kind of looks like Cloud, he's got like blonde hair, spiked out or whatever. Awful voice acting. Fucking awful voice acting. Like, I can't wait. I don't know, the demo should come out tomorrow, I think, with Final Fantasy Type 0.
Yeah.
Everyone else's voice acting is really good, and it makes it even worse. Like, it's so bad. You know, I can't, like...
Sucks, sorry.
Yeah, I'm like... I don't know. I don't know if video has been released of it yet, but that was the one thing I noticed first, because there's this really cool opening cutscene where they're all in a tent, and it's really cool. There's a cell phone. This isn't spoilers, because this is the very beginning of the demo.
Sure.
But they have a cell phone, and it's going off, and they're waking up, and they just let the alarm go as everyone gets up, and they start putting the phone in front of like different people to like get them awake, and they won't wake up. And I'm like, this is really clever. Yeah. But then that one guy talks, and I'm like,
stop, shut up, you idiot.
Yeah, I'm like...
Colin, I got 2 points of business for you. Number one, NugsFan21 subscribe. This is his 3 months in a row subscription. A lot of those have been popping today while we've been going, because we've been going for 3 months. Thank you all for your support. Sorry we can't stop the show every time to say hey to everybody. Also, the bell rang. Something came. You ready?
Yeah.
Oh. Mario Party 10 came. Mario Party 10 came with a review embargo of 3/16. Stone Cold Steve Austin's birthday.
Cool.
I thought we could unbox it here on the show. Talk about
Are we allowed to do that?
Yeah, it says over here, I read through this. Preview guidelines, you can cover any aspect of the game. Media cannot apply a score during the preview phase. Sure. Review embargo is the only review embargo on there.
And by the way, I was mistaken. Type 0 comes out next Tuesday, so a week from tomorrow, not tomorrow. I think we get ours this week, but we'll have more on that. Impressions of Type 0, by the way, from Japan, not good, but I hope it's better than what I played. That looks pretty cool.
New Mario amiibo.
I think I'm going to take this for my collection.
Okay. I already have a Mario. You can have my other Mario amiibo if you want to.
I just want I have only one Mario action figure from a long time ago.
Yeah. It's the cover. Everybody's seen the box.
So we'll do something with this.
Yeah, we'll play with it for sure. Yeah, we can do Let's Plays. We'll do it on the... Well, hold on. Let's go. Preview can cover... You can cover video guidelines. You can cover... We can live stream it for up to an hour before it looks like. So yeah, we'll play something. We'll do something. You know what? What are we talking about? Let me make sure I'm reading this correctly, because you never know. Yeah, I would say, according to this, we could live stream an hour of this game. Seems like we're going to have Ramon around here.
Yeah, we should.
Seems like a perfect party game to get Ramon in. Ramon. So there you go. Mario Party. Amiibos.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's absolutely do that. And people are asking if the Mega Man amiibo came. It did. It's on my shelf. I was talking to Greg this weekend, or actually Christine, because there's more Mega Man merch out there, and I'm like, I'm starting to become creepy with how much Mega Man stuff I have. Like, in my room, I just have like all this Mega Man stuff, and I'm like, I'm 30 years old. Like,
it's got to stop sometime.
I can't have. It's like what I make fun of you guys about for all your comic book shit all over the place and everything. I'm like, I can't do that. I got to at some point.
You can't be that guy.
Have to turn it off. You know, I can't have much Mega Man shit all over the goddamn place.
Yeah.
As much as I'd like to. If I lived alone, I'd like to do that. But you're a nerd, so you can do it.
Yeah, I make it look good.
Just a quick piece of news. PlayStation Europe confirmed on Twitter that Dishonored will be coming to PlayStation Plus on PS3 in April. So if you're thinking about buying that game now, you might want to wait. Also, this indicates to me that maybe we will see a little bit more of Dishonored at E3, because I still think that Dishonored 2 is a real thing and will obviously be coming out maybe in the next year or two. But nonetheless, maybe not read into it. But you just have to know that I think PlayStation Europe jumped the gun with Dishonored, saying it was coming to PlayStation Plus. Now that it is globally unified, or at least between Europe and America, we should be getting the same games. So save your money if you're going to buy Dishonored this month, because you should get it for free next month on PlayStation 3.
That's a smart tip from Colin Moriarty. He's watching your pennies.
I saw this news and I was sad over at GameSpot. Eddie wrote no plans for Witcher 1-2 HD re-releases, which I could have sworn they were going to do, but maybe they would have done it already.
They would have had it. We're so close now.
So he writes briefly, Polish developer CD Projekt Red said today at PAX East that it has no plans to re-release The Witcher or The Witcher 2 Assassins of Kings.
Assassins of Kings.
In high definition for new generation consoles. By the way, I hate the plural and plural presentation of names. Assassins of Kings. The same way I hate Demon Souls as being demons singular possessive. Demons Souls. It's like, what? Doesn't make any sense.
Assassins, I mean, there's multiple assassins.
I know, but I just hate the way it sounds. When
Sure,
you have plural and
okay,
plural
you hate
plural.
the phonics.
During,
phonics?
During the Q&A portion of a panel today, staffers said that this was considered, but the studio ultimately decided it would be better to focus on its current projects, including The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt and Cyberpunk 2077. And Eddie writes, sorry to anyone looking for a Witcher collection. Yeah, I would have liked that. Again, it would have made more sense, as Sony used to do, to preempt big releases with old games.
Yeah.
But we have The Witcher to look forward to in the coming months, nonetheless.
Thank God.
Over at BuzzFeed News, this news has been going around.
BuzzFeed News, is that their first appearance on Colin and Greg Live?
I think so.
Oh my gosh.
Brendan Klinkenberg
Nice name. Very nice name.
wrote, Apple has sold 700 million iPhones.
This broke while we were here, right?
Yep. Well, this
they're
broke
doing
this broke like I think an hour or so ago. It says with 120 million customers in stores last quarter, Apple sales are increasing every year. With year-over-year growth of 50%, iPhones are the top-selling smartphone in the world. Cook touted 99% customer satisfaction. I believe that. So anyway, 700 million phones. So that's an extraordinary number because in the gaming industry, we look at something that reaches 50 million as being really successful, or 100 million. The most successful piece of gaming hardware of all time on the console side is PS2, and on the handheld side is DS, and both of those are around 150 million. So 700 million iPhones means that the product is essentially ubiquitous. And I think they talked about the watch too, but I'm not sure anything had happened.
Right here. Yeah, this has been breaking while we were on. People in the chat have been shouting out about it. It's gotten simpler. HBO Now will be offered exclusively for 3 months on Apple TV. $14 a month. MacBooks being overhauled. All this junk. You and I do not care about the watch, correct?
No, I think the watch is going to be. I don't want to put myself out there because I don't understand this industry as well as I understand the gaming industry. Nowhere, I really understand the gaming industry. I really don't understand this industry very much. I can't imagine that this thing's gonna be successful. Who the hell wants this? Like, I'm really curious.
People were saying in there that they was popping up that the watch looks cool.
It looks cool.
I don't think it does.
But the processing power is on your phone.
Yeah.
So what is the point? You know what I mean? Like, just take your phone out of your pocket. I don't think that this is gonna. I think this is gonna be the first thing that they've released in a long time. That's not. This isn't like the iPhone or the iPad or the iPod.
I mean, this bullet point is terrifying. There's user-to-user sharing. Oh my God. What does that even mean? But like, yeah, it's like, is it that hard to pick up my fucking phone? You know what I mean?
No.
And like these are the annoying ones that pop up all the time when I'm going flying somewhere. It's like Virgin America's like, hey, your flight's in 12 hours. I'm like, I know, God damn it.
Yeah,
Uber. All right, that one. I
guess I like until this thing processes on the watch, it doesn't matter.
I can unlock my hotel with my.
I mean, this is stupid. Like, this is stupid. You know what I mean? Like, some of this shit is just stupid. You know, I love what they're trying to do, and I love that they're trying to chase tech.
And
do really cool things.
I want that car. Make your Apple car.
Project Titan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Project Titan.
That I'm sold on.
Way better chance of being a huge success.
I don't even need a car. I'll get it.
I'll be very interested to see how this does. Very interested.
Yeah.
I love Apple, and I wish them the very best, but you know, in 10 years when that thing can process and like be its own thing,
when it does holograms,
that's a different story. But you have to have your phone in your pocket to use it.
Do you remember when you were a kid and you used to think about like Dick Tracy and how he'd talk into his watch and how cool that was? And now we have like phones that just do all this stuff.
Yeah, it's funny the way people
kick the shit out of Dick Tracy with our phone.
It's funny how we envision the future. Even if you go back 20 years and watch like old sci-fi or Star Trek, even like Star Trek, like when I watch
Thank you, Mr. Blade.
the New Generation or whatever.
Yeah.
Not that I watch it very often. But I used to watch it when I was in high school.
Real quick, so you don't get eaten alive in the comments. New Generation or Next Generation?
Next Generation. I'm sorry, Next Generation. I used to watch it like it was on like very late at night after like Farscape or some other shit.
Farscape,
yeah. Try to watch.
I remember Farscape.
I tried to watch the shit. I thought it all sucked, to be perfectly honest with you. But I tried to watch it. My friends were watching it. And I was like, this is a very sterile vision of the future. And the future is not going to look anything like no. I think Mass Effect is actually the most accurate representation of what I think the future might look like, or Battlestar, in terms of the visual aesthetic of what I think the future will look like. But it's cool to have like visionaries like Gene Roddenberry and all these guys, like this is what they thought it was going to be. And I think that's pretty neat. Let's see. I saw this story, and I didn't read it yet, but I will read it together.
Oh, yay.
Over at GameSpot, Eddie writes, sexually suggestive dialogue removed from DMC Devil May Cry Definitive Edition.
What?
Which I got a code for like 2 weeks ago, and I still have not played it. I've been meaning to. There's just no time.
There is no time.
And Axiom Verge is really my priority right now. I have Axiom Verge, and I'm very excited to play. Eddie writes, people who pick up the Devil May Cry Definitive Edition on Tuesday, that's tomorrow, may notice that a scene from the 2013 original game has been altered for the new version to remove some sexually suggestive dialogue. During an early cutscene, main antagonist Mundus is outlining his nefarious plans with his demon mistress Lilith.
Of course, as you do.
As you do. In the original game, the scene plays out like this. Mundus says, quote, soon I will own everything worth owning. I will control the world through debt. I have absolute power. Lilith says, quote, the world is at last your bitch, as am I. Nothing left but to grab it by the hair, bend it over, and end quote. So I guess she's saying something and then it cuts off.
Is that a typo or is that really bend it over?
Oh, over. I'm sure.
Bend it over.
I read that as...
no, you read it the correct way.
No, I know, but he probably did the same. Like, you just don't see
Yeah.
it. The definitive edition version, however, keeps Mundus' line intact, but shortens Lilith to chop off the suggestive bit. So he says, soon I will blah, blah. And Lilith says, the world is at last your bitch.
And then there's an awkward cut to the cutscene and we're in another scene.
Someone who's really into it
Found this,
and apparently it was first reported to Eurogamer. Ninja Theory says, quote, this is from Tamim Antoniades? I think that's right.
Sure.
Tamim Antoniades, who's creative director at Ninja Theory, says, quote, we did make an edit to the opening cutscene. It wasn't a case of censorship, as there are far more suggestive scenes in the game. We felt that scene in particular drags on a little bit for the opening sequence, and frankly, we didn't like that line. Those few seconds were irrelevant to the scene and is covered effectively in a later scene where Mundus is metaphorically shafting world leaders, end quote. So, I mean, he's saying it's not censorship of her flow, and we'll have to take his word for it.
I believe him.
Yeah.
Somebody in the comments calls out a spoiler that I think they show them fucking eventually in the game. So there you go. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
No. But it's interesting that someone identified that.
It's cool. I mean, I think it's nice that like they're going through a definitive edition and not just straight porting it and being like, don't fucking think about it, right? It's like, well, we didn't like this. Shave this out of the cutscene. That's really where we got dinged in reviews.
Yeah.
That cutscene dragged
That
too long.
cutscene's too much.
Get it out of there.
Over at Deadline Hollywood, last week we watched the Avengers Age of Ultron trailer. I think it was
did.
last week, right?
Yeah. It's all a blur at this point, but we've watched it before together.
Maybe it was 2 weeks ago at this point. Anyway, Mike Fleming Jr. over at Deadline writes, the Avengers Age of Ultron Marvel trailer sets record with 35 million views. Is it not in there? There it is. And it says, Marvel is crowing that its third trailer for Avengers Age of Ultron that dropped last week set a record with 35 million views in 24 hours. Breaking the previous record set by the last teaser trailer, which debuted October 22nd, which got 34.3 million global views in 24 hours. The trailer attempts to raise the action stakes with the superhero all-star team that seems overmatched by the title villain. 35 million views in one day. Kind of funny in its entire history, since the Game Over show has not gotten 35 million views.
Well, I think it's clear.
Or anywhere close to it.
We just need to dress in costume and have bad photoshops of ourselves. Why is every Avengers poster the worst Photoshop possible? Can we just get them shot on green screen with the same lighting and then put them into things? Annoying.
Yeah, it's weird that they didn't just get them all into a room to do like photos together.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's like, I can't even blow it up. Some of the posters are just the worst CG, you know what I mean? They're just like, oh, well, it looks close enough, post it. Like, what the hell are you doing?
Another piece of movie news, this one's from The Hollywood Reporter. Chappie, #1 with soft 13.3 million. Vince Vaughn suffers another bomb. All right, so before I even read this story, Chappie, I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
I've seen some trailers for it.
Yeah.
Is it a joke?
No,
or is it a serious movie? I'm being totally serious. Is it supposed to be a comedy?
I know.
Because it comes off as a comedy to me.
I think it's
the way he talks and the way that it's called Chappie.
Right.
It
It's
makes
science
me-
fiction. It's from the guy who did District 9. Like, it's like his world. It's just a bad title, I guess. I don't know. It looks like shit. I have no
Like,
interest
why-
in seeing it.
And the robot has like, look at
Crap
the
all
robot.
over him.
This isn't a joke.
Not to my knowledge. It's also got Neil from Newsroom in it.
I don't understand how like I was watching the trailer. First of all, the way he talks, the way he looks, his
I am
name.
Chappie.
I'm like, what the fuck is this? What is this movie? You know, and so I'm glad you answered that. I really didn't know the answer to it. I'm not even trying to be facetious. And Pamela McClintock over at Hollywood Reporter writes, to say the blues gripped the North American box office this weekend is an understatement, with revenue tumbling nearly 40% year over year. Yeah, movie theaters definitely aren't dying.
No, not at all.
Neil Blomkamp's dystopian robot film Chappie came to number 1 with a soft $13.3 million from 3,201 theaters, while Vince Vaughn's comedy Unfinished Business bombed with $4.8 million from 2,777 locations. The worst opening of the actor's career for a major release, and certainly the worst for a comedy. In 1998, drama Return to Paradise debuted to $2.5 million, but it only went out to 965 theaters. Unfinished Business and Chappie were ravaged by critics, while both received a B cinema score from audiences. Vaughn is the latest in a string of major actors to disappoint at the box office this year, a list that includes Johnny Depp, who seems to disappoint with every movie he does. Okay, that's all. Not that I know his filmography, but it seems like that has been the story for years.
Right.
Unless it's Pirates of the
Caribbean.
Pirates of the Caribbean. I was gonna say Pirates of Silicon Valley.
That movie never disappoints.
So that's basically that. If you scroll down, or I'll scroll down.
We're just watching Chappie right now.
Chappie's number 1. Why is this all fucked up? Oh, okay, Focus is number 2. The second best exotic, Marigold Hotel, I guess.
Yeah, that's right.
Is that a movie? Number
That's
3,
the thing.
Kingsman.
That's a movie. That was a movie.
SpongeBob, 50 Shades of Grey still hitting in there. McFarlane USA, The Lazarus Effect, which looks silly. The Duff. Unfinished Business opens at 10. So
Avengers is gonna come out and just wreck shop and be.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it.
No one's gonna be able to stop that.
Oh, I have no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But it's about. It's like I think we could look at it in terms of the gaming ecosystem, right? Like we love the indies and the smaller games because they fill in these moments that we need them, because we only get a few AAA games of any consequence really every year. I mean, really think about it. Like Dying Light was in the beginning of the year.
Bloodborne.
But yeah, The Order came out. No one likes The Order. Then, yeah, so Bloodborne's coming out. That's an exclusive. But I'm saying, like, you really have to use your head. Like, it's not like they're coming out every month, even. You know, these big AAA games. So we need these smaller indie games, and it seems like it's the same way with the movies. Like, the Avengers are going to do great, but what about when the Avengers isn't in the theater?
Yeah,
you know,
people
movies
have to
really
embrace digital distribution, and it'll be my perfect world.
They really are dying.
Yeah, I'm not gonna miss them. These movies come out, I'm like, well, who the hell cares? Chappie?
Yeah, you want to see Chappie, the comedy about the robot named Chappie?
The comedy, Short Circuit 2, 3. Reboot.
Just a few more things here, Greg.
Okay.
Michael Martin over at IGN writes, PAX East 2015, Gearbox reveals Borderlands, the pre-sequel 4th DLC release date. And his story reads, today Gearbox Software revealed the next Borderlands, the pre-sequel DLC, and its release date at a PAX East panel. Claptastic Voyage will launch March 24th in North America and March 27th internationally, and will be available to players who purchase the Season Pass. The new expansion takes place in Claptrap's mind and bridges the gap between Borderlands the pre-sequel and Borderlands 2. I didn't even know there was a gap. The DLC will feature new levels and a new story, including new equipment called Glitched Gear. Players will get to experience Claptrap's hopes, dreams, fears, and stupidity, in quotes. For me, I'm in wait mode now with Borderlands for the Handsome Jack collection.
Right. Which is around this. I think it's March 24th. And that has all the DLC from Borderlands 2 and Borderlands the pre-sequel. So you imagine they announced this and it's time to come out to everything at once.
And most importantly, in this particular story, I see Rush from Mega Man in that. In
this year, and the best robot companions in video games?
There he is. Look how beautiful he is.
Man, what a dog.
Now that's a dog name.
Rush?
Yeah.
Is that what you
if I got a dog, I would name him Rush.
Yeah?
Yeah. And I would name my cat Tango.
For
There's a cat in Mega Man.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the connection there? I got rock and roll.
I don't really know. I don't actually know what Rush's Japanese name is.
Oh, okay.
For instance, Proto Man is blues in Japan.
Okay, I can see it.
Forte, and also, yeah, there's like a lot of it is music analogies, but none of them have carried over.
Okay.
Because Rockman obviously was not. There must have been some sort of IP problem in the 80s. Mega Man's a better name than Rockman.
Yeah, oh yeah, I agree.
Two more stories, Greg.
Okay.
Matt Burtz over at Game Informer writes, Sony's Yoshida, PSN is attacked by hackers every day.
Shuhei Yoshida, Mike Biffles, Aaron Boy.
And Matt writes, the holiday joy of unwrapping a new console was ruined for many when Microsoft and Sony were hit with crippling attacks that down both Xbox Live and PlayStation Network, just as players were trying to download updates or jump online with friends. Sony president of Worldwide Studios, Shuhei Yoshida, that should be capitalized, says these attacks happen more than you may think. During a conversation at GDC, we asked Yoshida how the Sony plans to minimize these disruptions moving forward. Quote, we are always working against these attacks. Actually, an attack happens every day, literally every day. Some days are bigger and some days are smaller. Some days they devise new means, new ways. It's like cat and mouse. We have a partner company we work with, and we always update the new ways the attacker might deploy, so it's a constant battle, end quote. So interesting that people are constantly attacking their networks. Not a huge surprise, but you would expect that for banks and people that actually do important things. Not entertainment companies. Like, what is the point? Like, what is the point?
To prove you can do it. Like, I mean, like, that's the thing. Like, I get it. Like, you figure the video game audience is young and it's people who are connected to computers. It's the same reason when we'll, at Comic-Con, meet a celebrity, like, who's in movies and we have more Twitter followers than them. And it's like, well, yeah, their audience goes, watches them in a theater and leaves and is like, man, I love that actor. And they don't think to go online and do it. Whereas our audience is online, right? Our audience is at a keyboard or their phone or whatever, ready to be a part of the conversation. Same thing here. They're mad at Sony for X, Y, and Z. They're mad at Xbox because of this. There's no Linux anymore. You know what I mean? Like, there's a million reasons to jump out there and go be a jerk. Don't do that, though. Don't give in, everybody. Be good people.
One more story, and I'm really excited about this one. This also comes from Michael Martin at IGN. He says, Dead Space developer would like to revisit the series again. As developer Visceral Games prepares for Battlefield Hardline's launch, the studio says it would like to revisit the Dead Space series. Quote, many people here at Visceral have a warm spot in their heart for Dead Space, and right now we're busy with Hardline and other things.
Other things.
Visceral Games General Manager Steve Papoutsis told Games TM, quote, but it's definitely something we'd like to look at again. There's definitely a lot of interest internally for us to pick that up again at a future date. Dead Space 3 came out a couple years ago now, quite a while ago.
Yeah.
I never played it.
I couldn't
because
do
Dead
it.
Space 2 really turned me off. And I know that you and a lot of other people really like Dead Space 2, but the original Dead Space, and we said it before, and I won't belabor the point, really an extraordinary game.
Yeah.
And revived the survival horror genre. And I might even say might be the best survival horror game. You know, even better than Resident Evil 4, which I think is, really one of the kings.
But yeah.
And so it's cool that they want to go back to it. It's ultimately not going to be up to them. And obviously, and actually, Jim Sterling released his Jimquisition today because EA closed Maxis last week.
Yep.
Which was a huge surprise. And he was saying that he thinks Visceral's next if Hardline doesn't do well. So
and I don't think it's going to. The thing about Dead Space is, I think it was Dead Space on the spectrum, right? Where I liked Dead Space 1, I had a lot of fun with it, but I'm not the survival horror guy. So Dead Space 2 moved it to a more actiony way that I loved. I love Dead Space 2. But then Dead Space 3 kept progressing away from that. You know what I mean? So it went so action that I remember playing it and just like, the thing I loved about Dead Space 2, spoilers for the very, very beginning of the game, is like, the game starts with Isaac in an insane asylum. Like, he's seen all these horrible things, you know what I mean? I remember reviewing it and talking about this, like, this is the first time you see a protagonist who's really got the weight of what he's done on his shoulders, right? What he's seen. And Dead Space 3 opens and it's just like, it's totally like a diehard Bruce Willis. I'm just like, my girlfriend's with this new guy and I'm all blah, blah, blah. And then like, I pulled in one last time for one last job. I was like, this is not good. I don't like this. You know what I mean? I don't like this at all.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, Dead Space is owned by EA, so Visceral doesn't have to actually develop it.
Well, that's the whole thing about, you remember that too, though, when Dead Space 3 came out, and to try to squash talk of Dead Space 4, they're like, if this sells EA was like, if this sells 6 million copies, then there'll be a Dead Space 4. And that was like them basically saying, no, it's not happening, don't even, you know what I mean? It's not even a thing.
All right, that's it for the news, Greg. We're going to do a giveaway this week. The giveaway is going to be themed this week. Our friends over at Sony, I talked to them about a game that came to Vita called Orishika, Tainted Bloodlines. I've played quite a bit of it now. For people that are unfamiliar with it, it is Orishika is a sequel to a game that came to PS1 in 1999 in Japan, only in Japan, called Ore no Shikabane wo Koete Yuke.
Of course. You're quite good at that. That was really good.
And that's terrible pronunciation, but it translates to Over My Dead Body. And Over My Dead Body came to PS1 in 1999, and Orishika Tainted Bloodlines is the sequel to it that came to Vita in Japan and then came to Vita a week or two ago here. So I asked him about this because it's an interesting game. The entire game is it's an RPG where basically your family is cursed in the beginning of the game, and you are able to live for only 2 years. And your heirs, you have to like create heirs with goddesses basically over and over again to keep your family going within those 2-year structures, so you can keep going and learning things from the family and getting new equipment and etc. So it's got like kind of a Rogue Legacy thing kind of going on. In a way, it is not Rogue Legacy. And then the RPG is turn-based. So you go into dungeons and fight enemies in turn-based battles. It's an interesting game. Very deep, very deep. And can take you a long time in the game. It's one of the only games I've ever seen out front where it's like, do you want to play it for 20 hours? Then play it this way. If you want to play for 30 hours, play it this way. You want to play 100 hours, play this way. It's pretty cool. Anyway, I went to Sony and I'm like, I'm not hearing much about Orishika. People aren't talking about Orishika. I have a code. I want to play it. I want to share it with people because I think some people out there will like it. So this week we're going to be giving away all sorts of Orishika merch.
Orishika week.
And a code. And I have some other codes too, but we're going to give away...
For the Friday giveaway.
Yeah, for the Friday giveaway. So I think so. Hey, this is what I want to do. I want to stack all the Orshika stuff up day by day, and on Friday we'll give away all the Orshika merch with a code to someone, and then we'll also give away, I think, 1 or 2 more codes.
Oh, perfect. Okay, great. Remember, of course, ladies and gentlemen, Colin and Greg Lives here every day, 11 a.m., running through the nerdy news. We also add something to the prize pack each and every day. Friday we give it away. If you're a sub, you're automatically entered to win. Otherwise, just be in the chat and you're automatically entered.
So the first thing I want to give away is the Japanese-only soundtrack for Orshika.
We're adding the Japanese only.
It's 3 discs, and the glare might be a little bad, so you can't really...
You can twist. You can just angle it. It'll be fun. There you go. There you go.
Looks like that. 3 discs, all in Japanese. This was not released here. This is Japanese only. And we'll add that to the prize pack right now. So this is the first item going in, but we'll have more items.
More coming soon. Throughout the week. Tomorrow.
Culminating with a code. This is for Orshika to show our love for Vita. And this is brought to you by Sony. Sony gave us this, so we appreciate that, Sony. Thank you very much.
Colin.
Yes.
Mark wants us to follow up on something from our firmware 2.5 or 2.5 update, right? This is something in the fine print that is down here. He says, remote play cannot be used with a PlayStation Vita system running version 3.35. A software update for the PS Vita to be re-released later is required.
Yeah, I saw that, and I don't really understand what the nature of that.
It seems to me that this is... people are freaking out, I guess, and that's why Mark sent it to us, because obviously he's saying we missed it too, saying that people aren't on it. Thank you very much for keeping us honest and going here. But again, remember that they're putting this out in beta right now. So if you are a beta tester, yeah, you can't remote play right now while you beta test this firmware.
And they released the firmware.
But they're not stupid. They'd have to be. Well, I mean, they've made dumb decisions before. But I don't think that PlayStation isn't going to put out 2 firmwares on the same day, especially because all they do with the Vita is position it as a firmware system, right? You can't take that away.
Yeah, it's
Don't be crazy.
That's a good point. And some of our Europeans, again, are asking something we answered at the top of the show, which is why we are already going. We have daylight savings in the United States, so it is noon here now.
Stupid America.
So you just have to keep up with that. We will tweet out and remind our European users.
That totally slipped my mind. I didn't. Honestly, I don't even think I knew that like maybe the world doesn't celebrate daylight savings time, the honored tradition that we do. So yeah, we're now an hour earlier, European listeners.
All right, so I have a bunch of stuff to do today. So we're gonna do. I don't want to rush, but it's just like I'm like frantic in my mind right now.
Okay.
So let's just do 15 minutes of Q&A. We'll do like half with our all of our viewers here, and then we'll do half with our subscribers, and then we'll skedaddle. And tomorrow will be a more normalized day. I assume Ramon will be here. He won't be on the show. Maybe he'll be on the show. I don't know.
We're broadcasting from his room, aren't we?
Oh, we are. Yeah.
So,
we have to fit him in.
He definitely has to be awake. He can be getting me coffee. He can be doing that. Maybe he brings his little guitar back here and ding, 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 ding.
I don't know if he's even bringing his guitar. He might be bringing his guitar.
He tried to. Did he talk to you about this?
No.
He talked to me about this. He was like, hey, like...
Oh, he wanted to play with us. But I was saying I don't know if he was bringing his guitar. Because he's going to... So here's the story.
Yeah.
He's going to L.A. on Friday for a wedding of our old friend in Northeastern, Alex Schneiderman, who used to be the singer in his band in college. In Simplest Form was their band. And... So I wonder if they're actually going to be playing at his wedding, and so then he would have to have...
Well, he was asking if he needed to bring a bass and a guitar and all that stuff. I'm like, we got a tiny little room in here, man. I don't know if...
And I also have one of his electric guitars here, and his and my bass.
Yeah.
I have my bass. And I don't have my acoustic anymore, but I think I'm actually going to go buy one when he's here, so he can help me pick one up.
Nice.
I actually want to buy an acoustic bass more than an acoustic guitar.
That's weird.
But
I never hear about acoustic basses.
Yeah, you don't hear about them, but
that's why it's weird.
I really want a Steinberger bass, like the ones that like new wave bands play, like with the cut off end.
Sure.
A nice sound out of those. But my bass is fine. I broke the low E string on it. Still haven't gotten it restrung. I did it like last month. But I hadn't been restrung, and there's so much action on that bass, dude. I'm telling you, man. There's so much action on that bass, and I don't want to restring it, but I have to.
Okay. Sorry, Carl.
Anyway, let's see. J3Go says, Colin, what's your recipe for an old fashioned? Any secrets? Yeah, the recipe for the old fashioned is simple because we have it here on our YouTube channel over at our show that we do with our esteemed friend, esteemed master bartender, Eric Castro, called Follow the Leader. So we actually have a video here you can find on Follow the Leader about how to make an old fashioned, and the ingredients are very simple. It's bourbon, it's simple syrup, and it's bitters, and then a peel of lemon or orange, depending on if you're using rye or bourbon.
Let's for a second talk about how much better you look right now. This is
think...
filled in.
Oh, thanks.
The hair's balanced out.
I don't even think that when we filmed this that I was going for the beard. I think I was just...
You're lazy.
Yeah, that was still like...
Now you look really... I want to tell you how good you look. You look like a man, Colin.
Thank you. I look like a man. I'm going to look at myself in the reflection. Yeah, I look like a man, all right.
I got to shave today, which was nice because I forgot my razor going to PAX. So I had that weird 5 o'clock shadow.
So yeah, that's how you make an old fashioned. If you are interested in investigating it,
Kindafunny.com. Follow leader playlist is right at the top. You're all set.
Let's see. I like this question. Sparkler17. Colin, any ingredients for making potatoes? Water.
And a potato seed.
And a potato. And once the potato exists, you put it in the boiling water.
Yeah. All right,
butter,
answer real questions.
Salt, pepper.
Are you making mashed potatoes?
I don't know what I'm making.
Okay, you're just going?
Yeah, I'm just going with it.
Heads up that right now, Captain Hogwash says, will the PAX panel be put up on the YouTube channel? It sure will. Kevin's editing that today. It'll be up sometime this week. It'll go up as a full episode. It'll go up as a full MP3. No windowing. It'll just be up and ready for you.
A couple people asked some interesting questions here too, Greg.
Sure.
There's two things we need to figure out right now. The Mega Man stream.
All right.
When I'll play Mega Man
shit,
1,
and then you gotta
2,
do your
3,
thing
4,
too.
5, 6, 9, and 10.
Yep.
And then Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Yep.
Video game book club. So here's my proposal.
Yeah.
On the 9th, so a week from today, I will do the Mega Man live stream after this show.
Nice.
That's Mega Man 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10. I will play them all in order. I will not be playing 7 because it's not fun. I will not be playing... No, I'm okay. 7's fine, but it's the worst Mega Man.
It's fine.
It's the worst classic Mega Man game. And the 8, I will not be playing because there's no way to access it. My PS1's at home.
So now here's my immediate question about that. How long is that going to take you?
Not long. I mean...
How many hours?
An hour each at the most, like average the most maybe. But
Okay.
because I'm not, see, I'm really good at, 1 is hard. I'm really good at 2 and 3 because I'm supposed to familiar with them. 4, 5, and 6 I can get through, but I'm probably going to die a couple times when I play them. I haven't played them in a long time. I don't think I'm going to practice 9 and 10. So I would say an average of like when Mega Man 10 came out, I can beat Mega Man 10 in 24 minutes. Like I'm on the leaderboard for that game. On Wii. What are you smiling at? What?
We're so fried that the 9th is today. So you mean the 16th, everybody.
16th,
Throw him a fucking
Sorry,
bone.
the 16th. So the 16th. But the big question is, what do we have? Because I'm looking at the calendar here, and we don't have anything.
Let's Plays are on Monday now. They haven't moved for some reason because Google Calendar's fucking us up. But that is there. So like we're doing Let's
You guys
Play.
can do them without me. I mean, there's just you have to make a concession somewhere. Yeah.
Well, sure, but I'm saying why wouldn't you could do the stream on Friday too, or do you just want to spend that time with your girlfriend?
Yeah, I mean Friday I would rather not do it.
Okay.
So so here's what I want to do, and this is my proposal. The 16th, I'll do the Mega Man stream, and then the 18th, I will do the video game book club.
Okay.
And what we'll do is, and we'll announce this. So we know most of our people are not.
I'll make pretty
in here right
graphics.
now.
Don't worry.
But what I'm excited about with this is that this will get the Mega Man thing off of our plate for our Patreon subscribers, and then the video game book club we can do. Symphony of the Night is our video game book club. And remember, while the people that will take part in the conversation will
Be the ones who paid.
the people that paid will be part of the part of this conversation. Anyone can take part, and I really do encourage you guys to play Symphony of the Night and join us for that, because Symphony of the Night is one of those seminal games that was ever released. We did Super Metro, which I think is a very important and very quality game. Symphony of the Night is a much better game. And I think Symphony of the Night is easily one of the great games of all time. If you haven't played it, you really should, and there's a lot of ways for you to play it. You can play it on your PS1 and your Saturn if you still have those, but you can play it on PS3 and Vita as a PS1 Classic. You can play it on your PSP as well, and you play it on Xbox 360. Different ways for you to take part in that as well. So that's what we're going to do. The stream for Mega Man will do me Monday, right after the show, the 16th. And then on the 18th, we will do the video game book club in the afternoon at some point, after the Gamescast maybe.
Oh, you want to do it after the Gamescast?
Or we can do it before the Gamescast.
I was saying, yeah, you can fit in at 1 o'clock probably.
Okay, great. So
1
that's
PM.
what we will do.
I'll hit up your book club people, make sure they're all on board for that.
Okay, great. So that's the preliminary plans, guys. I'm excited to play the Mega Man games.
Right.
So that's really not a chore for me at all. It's like, fine. Oh, I get to play Mega Man 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Yeah.
9, 10. Sounds good. So today, maybe we can, if you want to kind of jump on Wii and get those, that would be helpful.
Okay.
And then maybe I can just start fucking with them a little bit if I want to. I don't really want to practice though. I just kind of want to play them.
Okay. Just jump in.
There's
Fresh.
some parts of the game I'm thinking about, like Mega Man 5, for instance.
Yeah.
Crystal Man stage has these really difficult jumps when these crystals are like coming down. You have to like avoid them. There's some really hard parts of those games. I don't remember the timing, the rhythm.
I like that you're bopping in your head to it though. You're trying to figure out the rhythm in your head.
So that's what we're gonna do there. This is an interesting question, even though it's sports related, because we can both answer it here.
Okay.
Mr. Latire says, Colin, how do you feel about Brandon Marshall and Sue going to the Finns? Well, Brandon Marshall, I think you're missing a comma there. Brandon Marshall went to the Jets, or did he go to the Dolphins? Like, did they pull a fast one? Because
you're super excited to have him.
Let's see. Because as far as I understand, because there can be nothing official until tomorrow, but people are already making their moves.
Gotcha.
As far as I understand, Brandon Marshall's going to the Jets. I hope that didn't change. But we're both of our teams, the Bears and the Jets, are in rebuild mode here.
Right.
So
I don't. People were super. You texted me immediately. You were talking to me about it. I don't care. Get them out of there. They're gonna be terrible. I don't want this bullshit of like, well, it's the best receiver core and Cutler's got all this offensive. Like it just doesn't work. We've tried it forever. It doesn't work. John Fox, come in, do whatever the hell you need to do. Just take it. I don't care. Just be bad for this year. Whatever. Just do whatever you need to do.
Yeah,
get Cutler out. It's
surprising that the and I did a little Google search. Brandon Marshall is going to the Jets, so I think you mean how do I feel about Brandon Marshall, and so going to the Dolphins.
Yeah.
So being in our division is very detrimental to the Jets. But the funny thing here is that I think the Jets are not that far away from being good again. We need a quarterback. We have a great defense. We need a corner. We need a quarterback. We have receivers. Now we have Marshall and Eric Decker and Jeremy Curley. It's a very good receiver core. So I don't know. Anyway, we'll see what happens. And people were saying, yeah, Marshall used to play for the Dolphins. Yes, played for the Dolphins and the Broncos before going to the Bears. Had problems at all those places. But he's apparently not. He has borderline personality disorder. And when he was diagnosed with that, he actually became a really great advocate for mental illness and mental health, which I think is pretty
good. Yeah, people need to stand up for that.
Megusta says, Colin, are you streaming Hotline Miami 2 this week? I think we will stream Hotline Miami 2, which I think comes out tomorrow.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Fuck yes. I did not realize. I thought it was another week still.
Let me double check, just to be. I don't want to just be sure. I want to be safe here. Let me be safe, because maybe I'm wrong.
I'm gonna play the shit out of it tomorrow. Then fuck it.
No, it's coming out tomorrow. PS4, PS3, and Vita.
I will do
that. Game Flame Over is also coming to Vita, which looks really fun.
Flame on.
And a few other games: Devil May Cry, Sparkle 2, Tokyo Twilight Ghost Hunters.
That's a good name. I don't know what the hell that means. That's not a good name.
So yeah, well, I'm sure we'll do something with Hotline Miami.
I'll stream it for sure tomorrow. You can pop in and out. I know you're always running around.
Greg, let's go to our subs now because we're running out of time here.
Okay. Yeah. There you go.
Great.
It took maybe. Yeah.
Radical69 Alex says, Colin, do you think they will revive Guitar Hero to compete with Rock Band? I think they will.
They already said they were.
Yeah.
That's already the rumor that it's happening.
I think they both had the same idea.
Yeah.
Jackson Torrance says, Colin, I'm sorry I stood in front of you in the group photo at after the PAX East panel. I don't know. I never saw the photo.
It was great.
I'm not too worried.
That was the one I was telling you where people zoomed in on you.
Oh, okay, right. Let's see. Lucard says, PAX was great. Love you guys. Thank you. We had a great time at PAX. And by the way, the turnout we had at our PAX East panel was extraordinary. Hundreds of people came to our PAX East panel. Hundreds, I think, came to Connor Larkin's, the bar at Northeastern that we had our meet and greet at the day before.
Yeah.
We stayed afterwards for 2.5 hours, shaking hands, taking pictures, talking to people about all sorts of stuff here. So we had a really great time. We really do appreciate your support at PAX. We had a really, I mean, these are our people. These are our people.
No, you guys, why would you get smaller, Twitter? You're such a piece of shit.
Oh, I never saw that. Oh, this is the picture you took?
This is the picture, yeah, there at the panoramic of from one end to the other. Yeah, we were in, I think, the second biggest room behind the main, so it's like the main theater, then Albatross, then the Dragonfly things. I would say 85% full. Just the last few rooms right there. Incredibly, thank you so much for all of your support, guys. Thank you for everything you did for GDC. I talked about it in the panel that you haven't seen yet if you weren't at PAX. The big takeaway for us from GDC was how amazing you guys are as a community. And we knew that, but it was awesome to see developers and guests learn that. They came in. So many people were floored. The comments on Twitch were so positive. Mike Bithell was tweeting about he couldn't believe how many new followers he had. He asked where everybody came from. Everyone said kind of funny, kind of funny, kind of funny. Like, that's what we're trying to do here, is build a community of fun people that want to have fun and celebrate games and go see cool shit together.
Yeah, I agree. And one of the things I hammered down at the PAX East panel, because we were talking about our community and how much we love our community, is that we are proud of the positivity of it. And I like that our interaction between us and you guys is very positive, but I also like the interaction between you guys without us is very positive as well, which is why I was saying, if you are a negative person, if you are a mean person, all those kinds of things, we don't want you in this community. I mean, that's just straight up. We don't want you here. But not only for us and our own exhaustion with dealing with that shit, but also for our own people that are so positive. We've met so many of them. We know so many of them. I brought up the Facebook group of 2,000 people that's run by fans, not us at all. I drop in and say hey to those guys. But and they are meeting each other and playing games with each other and getting advice from each other and talking to each other. And it's awesome. It's positive. We can be a positive force on the internet, and we will be a positive force. If you are negative, if you are mean, we do not want you here. I want to be very clear about that.
Yeah, no, totally.
You know what I mean? So it's awesome that we have such a positive and great community, and that our people on the dev side know that and have seen that and are excited about that.
Yeah, publishers.
Because they're exhausted by it too. Yep. And there's pockets of positivity all over the internet. I mean, this is going to be one of them.
But remember, that's the way. I mean, like, it's just for you, the fan out there, who would be like, well, why would Axiom Verge not know they're awesome? Or why would Cliff Bleszinski not think he's fun? Like, it's the vocal minority that speaks up and talks the loudest on the internet. So if you're a developer, all you get, and not all you get, but the majority of things you get are people saying you suck, right? We get to be in it every day and know that that's not it, and we have these amazing people in the chat and all these amazing best friends that want to support us on Patreon, do those different things. Developers, it's super easy to lose sight on that because they work on something for 3 years, they release it, and it's all, you fucking suck, this looks like garbage, you ripped off, da 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 da. And even if there are people that are going, hey man, love your game, it's hard to find that.
Yeah, so
we're proud to help you bring that voice out.
Absolutely. Someone asked, the Lambret asked, did you guys hang with IGN at PAX? We didn't hang with them, but we ran into them. And it was really nice to see Damon and Marty and Altano and those guys doing their thing. Unfortunately, our panel was at the same time as their panel, and I would have liked to have gone to their panel.
Yeah, that totally sucked. I mean, you have no say in when your panels are at PAX. You submit, they come back with a time and a place. So yeah, IGN started 30 minutes before ours, and then obviously we started 30 minutes after. It ran all over the place. And yeah, I would have loved to have gone to GameScoop. That would have been a lot of fun to go there and see how they do it, and to just be in the audience for IGN panel, which I've never really been since Girl Fight at PAX Prime.
Yeah, so hopefully we get a look at the panel and see how they did.
Yeah.
But because it was about Game of the Year so far.
Oh, really? I thought it was Game of the Decade.
Oh, it was the Game of the Decade? I thought they were doing the game. Don't they do that thing, Game of the Year Watch or something like that?
Yeah, they do, but they were promoting this as Game of the Decade.
Oh, okay. Well, I would have to think a little more carefully.
Peace Walker.
Yeah, Peace Walker.
Done.
Final question is for Greg, and it says, Dark Lord 1003 says, Greg, how did the whole Paxomania thing come to life?
Oh, man, Paxomania. Oh, jeez. So, it all starts with harmonics. So if you didn't know, every year, not every year, I guess. So for the past year, we've been doing these wrestling competitions at PAX. And when I say wrestling competitions, I mean it started last year at PAX East. The Harmonix guy teamed up with Giant Bomb and brought an N64, 4 controllers, and we did a 30-man industry Royal Rumble. And so people came, and like that first year, everybody was just loud. It was people like me, and there was Tim Schafer, it was Giant Bomb, it was like people, and we played to win the title. Alex Navarro won it. He had a wrestling mask on. People came and like had some little bits to do and little things to do. And then at PAX Prime is when it started to get fucking nuts. PAX East debuts, I lose. When I did my exit interview at the stage with the commentators, I picked up a John Drake body pillow and pile drived it on the table. But as I did that, John Drake jumped up in a luchador mask and gave me like a stunner, and it was all crazy. So then at PAX East is when everybody got really into it, and I started wearing the Team Fat cutoff shirt with sunglasses and elbow pads and having a character. I won the Rumble at PAX East. I challenged Navarro for the belt immediately following. I lost, but the other people carried him away, and I picked up the world title and ran out. So then at PAX East this year, I came out because I wasn't in the main event. It was Dan versus Alex for the title. So at the Giant Bomb panel, I popped up with the title and announced that I was now the commissioner of Paxomania. And then
Were you asked to do this, or did you just do this?
No. This wasn't ad-libbed. I talked to these guys.
If it was ad-libbed.
They have this entire thing set up, and I'm just there. So yeah, and then at Paxomania this year, I got to run around screaming. That's why my voice is even worse than usual. And being the commissioner, everybody said it was really funny. Thank you all for your support. Got to make fun of everybody at Harmonix and call their game Guitar Hero over and over again. A lot of laughs at that. Made fun of Patrick for a little bit. It was a great time. And at the end, I got a guitar smashed over my head.
Yeah, did you see the GIF? Because there's a great GIF of it.
I think I've seen it, yeah.
Let me see if I can find it here. Yeah. Here, I can send it to you.
Okay. I'm going to F11 this. I don't think it'll stop recording. But like I'm trapped in yeah. It didn't stop recording, but I full screened over here by accident. You're sending it to me?
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
You can catch the whole panel. It's over on Giant Bomb Unarchived, I believe. It's not an official site. I've tweeted it out so far, though. But here comes the GIF from Colin Moriarty of me getting domed. Click over here.
So it's just down. It's on our NeoGAF thread.
Jesus.
What is happening here?
It's loading a giant NeoGAF thread.
There it is. Yeah, it's got to load.
Yeah.
So let's see if we can...
Can I open it in a new window?
Yeah, you should be able to copy the image URL. There you go.
So yeah, this is what we all do now when we go to PAX. We have community panels with you where we get to talk to you and meet you and do all these awesome things, and then we all act like wrestlers and be a bunch of idiots.
That hurt?
No, it didn't. And what's funny about it is, like, before it, Jeff was like, if it doesn't break over your head, like, because we wanted it to explode and stuff, he's like, I'm like, if it doesn't break over my head, I'll roll to the side and let you hit me on the back a million times, right? And so I turned around with my eyes closed because I didn't want to know when it was coming and like and act weird. So I didn't know it broke. So I fell down, and then Alex pulls me back up, and Jeff just beats the shit out of my back with this goddamn thing. Let me see if I can bring up that link. But yeah, I'll click it over here while I try to dig it out. While you talk, while you segue us out of this.
Yeah, so this is basically Colin and Greg Live, our silly little nerdy talk show every day, weekday, 11 a.m. Pacific time, here on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. We're glad you're here with us, and we hope you enjoyed the show.
We hope you had a lot of fun today.
Remember, we're doing an Orishika giveaway all week, so we're going to be giving away more Orishika merch as time goes on. Going to join that soundtrack, other things. We have some other goodies for the game, as well as codes, so you can play the game for free. Greg?
Yeah.
Actually, some interesting things going on here. On Kind of Funny. Harley from Epic Mealtimes on Game Over Greg is show this week, so you can go to youtube.com/kindoffunny to check that out. We have Kez McDonald from Kotaku on the Gamescast this week, so you can see the first episode of that at youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. And we actually put a Let's Play up today that just went up a few minutes ago for Star Wall, which is a very silly game. You guys should go check that out
so
at
good.
youtube.com/kindoffunnygames as well. There's Greg writhing in pain. I think I saw Jeff beat himself with the thing as well.
Dr. Tracksuit is hopped up on cocaine. That's his angle. So Dr. Tracksuit feels no pain. So no one can stop him.
What a weird world this is.
It's so amazing.
I don't even know
Wait till you
anything about
see. I'm emailing. I'm gonna lay in bed, watch House of Cards, email our patrons, plan out some stuff, make the graphics for your stuff, and then I'm gonna email Harmonix. So I have an idea for what I want at PAX East this year, and if I can pull it off, it'll be fucking awesome.
Perfect. Greg?
Colin?
Thank you for joining me. Everyone out there, thank you for joining us. We will see you tomorrow right here at 11 a.m. Pacific time for more Colin and Greg Live. Until then, be well. By the way, Greg, real quick.
Yeah.
It says 14.
We went back in time. Yeah.
We're a year
We have to come up with a thing. Because some days you do it, some days I do it, some days neither of us do it. Whose job is it to title the thing?
I don't want any more jobs. I'll do it. Okay. That makes you happy.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm king, and they know it. When I snap my fingers, everybody